What's up, everybody? I'm Scott,
And I'm Jason.
and you are listening to Liquid Carnage. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing good, man. I got back from Denver safely. I had a little bit of time in Denver, so that was. But I don't know if you noticed, but plane travel was a little rough this weekend.
Yeah, yeah, it was a
Uh,
bit of a brutal weekend.
yeah, I every flight for the last 3 weeks has been delayed for me. Every flight
Oh,
on Southwest has either been got canceled, but I got
oh, yeah, there's a lot of that going on. There's a lot of politics being mixed in with business right now, and it's rough, man. People are having to make some tough decisions.
Oh, I know. And in fact, one of our friends, they were flying back from Wisconsin, and their flight got canceled. They actually rented a car and drove home.
Yeah, in some cases that just might be easier. It's,
Yeah, exactly,
uh,
exactly.
I can't imagine being stuck in an airport for a day or two. I have some friends that were actually back in Florida last week. They took a vacation and they were supposed to come back on Sunday because the kids had school on Monday, and flying Southwest out of Orlando, they got canceled.
Oh my
So
gosh.
they had to stay an extra day. Kids didn't mind because
Yeah,
they got to go to the beach, but yeah, it was. They said it was a mess, and that's just the way the world is right now. It's terrible.
yeah, yeah. So, but I'm back. I'm back safely in the area, and so that was good. That was really
That's
good.
good.
So,
I don't
yeah,
suppose you
my
had any time to hit up our EP up in Denver, or did you just have too much of a good time with your buddy Pete to
no, so here's the thing. So Pete has his wife and three lovely daughters, firefighter. So Pete gets, he gets like 2 days off and 1 day of work. And so he coordinated that he basically got 6 days off with only having to take 1 day off from work.
no?
So it was a pretty sweet deal, but it it was a nonstop go with these kids, man. I mean, when you get young kids,
Yeah,
it go 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 go, and right now at my house, it's me and Noreen and three little dogs. When you have five people and then pets and everything else, there's constant chatter, screaming, don't touch me, and it's nonstop chaos, man. So we
you are
didn't do
literally
much.
preaching to the choir.
We did not much. We did nothing. I mean, we really didn't do much of anything. The only thing I loved about Pete is that he made sure that we had plenty of alcohol to stay home and just drink our miseries away.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
That's
so
good.
so we didn't really go and do it and see anything, but I had a great time because I love, I just love talking to him, and then he goes, "Hey, let's go get a beer." Okay, well, don't we have to pick up the kids in an hour? They can wait.
Well,
Like,
okay.
and I don't know, it must be a parental thing, but parents need to find that time, like that 30, 45 minutes where I love you as my child, but I do not want to hear you, see you, think about you for 35 minutes because I am gonna.
It's funny you bring that up. It's very funny actually because this past weekend was nonstop for us too. And what's funny is so Janice's youngest was with her dad. So we had her oldest. There was a baby shower, a birthday party, soccer games. I didn't have to go to a baby shower or a birthday party, so I knew in my head I had like a whole afternoon of nothing but me time for the first time in forever, where I could just do whatever the hell I could watch football. I could do whatever, and I was excited for that. And
Yeah, yeah.
and Janice was making a cake for the baby shower that she was going to. So between Thursday night and Saturday morning, she literally only got 2 hours of sleep between work, homework, and making this cake. So she was up all night Friday night trying to get this cake done and trying to get it done, and her oldest and I were helping her like right up until her oldest's soccer game. We were trying to help get this cake done. So if you ever want to see terror on a child, the cake was too tall for one of our carrying cases that we have for cakes. So I had
Oh
to
my
put it in
gosh.
her lap in the car and drive it to the party and then take her to her soccer game. And like the cake just she didn't have time to let the icing like set, so the bottom was kind of skating a little bit, and like the look of terror on this child's face that this cake icing was going to get on her soccer uniform was just, it was amazing. And I got it done. Like we got it to the location. I got her to her soccer game. We watched soccer, and Janice had not slept at this point. You could tell she was just dog ass tired. And they went to the baby shower, and I went home to what I thought was going to be my free afternoon, and I ended up just cleaning up the kitchen and everything else because you could see how tired she was, and I didn't want to make her do all the work of of cleaning everything up. I know she wanted to because she made the mess, but sometimes the nicer thing is just to do the cleaning to get it out of the way.
No, I'm
And
with you. I'm totally with you. I think
so
it's so funny. It must be just a parental thing because that's the way I felt like there is that it was like, okay, we have 20 minutes to have for ourselves.
yeah,
And then you're thinking, yeah, but if I get this cake work, that means I don't have to do it later. And if I do this and I do this, then I don't have to do it later. So it's like instead of enjoying it for quiet time, you're enjoying it for getting things done that you just don't have time to do when the kids are
yeah,
around.
and that's what I was doing. Like I was like, all right, it'll take me a half hour to get this kitchen clean. Then I've got a couple hours. I'll do whatever. No, man. The minute I finished the kitchen, they walked in the door because the party. I guess the baby shower started during the middle of our soccer games, and they got there just for the ending of it. And so they came over to change and take her oldest to the birthday party, and I ended up taking care of that so Janice could go to bed. But it was just one of those, man. I thought I had the whole time, like that adult time. Like, no, I don't got anything. I don't got anything. So you don't take it for granted anymore.
See, now this is going to be great because I took the experience as the outsider looking at my friend and just thinking, holy crap, I don't know how you put up with this stuff. And you are like my friend in terms of you're dealing with this. So I'm going to pose some questions to you from my experience over this weekend, and I want to
Okay.
see how you react to it. So the first
Okay.
question is, do the sisters bicker and fight with each other?
Yes, constantly.
Do they elevate the sound of their screeches to that pitched frequency that drives your hair gray or to fall out?
On occasion, yes.
Okay, so my friend Pete, his kids are 15, 13, and 8. And so there's an age difference between the two oldest children and the youngest one, but the two like are opposites of each other. So when one of them touches the other person's food, there's this high pitched squeal of rage and then slapping, hitting each other. And
Oh,
I just walked away at one point and said, you guys are gonna drive me to drink more. Stop it. I was so stressed, man.
I'm sure those days are coming. I'm
Oh,
not gonna
good
lie. I
Lord.
mean, the Janices are 10 and 6, almost 10 and 7. So
Okay, so they're a little younger than his, but not by much. Not
not
by
by
much.
much. So I'm sure those days are coming, and like the 10-year-old is already starting to have some of those teenage moments, and it's funny because you can see like she's starting to process things like a preteen or a teenager and starting to ask those questions. And as the adult, you have the ability to just say no for whatever reason you want because you pay the bills. And I can get out of a lot of things too because I'm not her father. I am, as far as they're concerned, their mom's boyfriend that they live with. So my power only goes so far in their world. But ultimately, it's up to me. If they need me to drive them somewhere or help them with something, they have to remember they have to check their tones, watch what they say. And when I'm the one watching them, I do not stand for that fighting stuff, man. It drives me nuts.
Okay, good. So I didn't feel so bad because I literally at one point all three of the girls were yelling at that high pitched frequency, and I just looked at my friend and said, "I don't. How do you not kill these kids?" He goes, "Oh,
Yeah.
dude, what are you crazy? That's why I'm a firefighter. I go to work for 24 hours a day, every third day." I went, "Okay." Okay, second question:
Uh-huh.
Do your kids have chores?
We are trying that. We are trying to establish that. The part of the issues we have, and that's just the way the custody situation is set up with the youngest. She's gone every other weekend, so we have not been able to establish. Plus, being 6, there's only so much they can do. So we got them those green light cards, those child debit cards, to where they can load
Oh,
money.
yes. Oh, yes. Okay.
So we're trying to work that angle with them. So they do have some chores like loading and unloading the dishwasher, cleaning their bathroom, stuff like that, their own laundry. But still, some of those are a constant struggle. Laundry will be the death of them. You would think that they're just serving a life sentence on death row when you see that they have to fold their own laundry and put it away. It's
Okay.
terrible.
Oh my gosh,
It's fucking
laundry.
terrible.
Yeah, I can
You know.
imagine. So my friend had the same issue with the laundry issue. They have a downstairs bathroom where was the bathroom I got to use, and they, with 5 people, obviously that produces a lot of laundry. But when only one person in the house does laundry, it
Oh yeah.
gets it gets quick. And I asked the girls, "How come you're not doing your laundry?" Well, that's what Dad does. And I almost wanted to strangle him, but I love him so much that I won't do that. But I almost said, that's a lame excuse. That is a lame excuse.
Yeah.
You could do your own laundry, and obviously your daughters are young still, so it's not really quite in their realm. But when you're 15 and a half, you can do your own laundry and
Oh yeah.
fold it for sure.
And
If you're not going to do it, then fold it.
they do their own laundry. Like they do put it in the washing machine and switch it out and take it. Getting them to fold it is the next problem. But it's I tell them, like, listen, I do mine the same time every week. Like my laundry is done by the time any of you get up on Sunday morning. I habitually wake up at 5:30 every day now, whether I want to or not. That's in my system.
Right.
So on Sunday mornings, that's what I do. I get up, I exercise, I start my laundry, I go to the grocery store, all before anybody else moves in this house. And then I'm kicking Janice out of bed so I can fold my laundry in peace, and she can go deal with everybody else at that point. But you have to establish those boundaries. And I told them, like, if you set up a routine and, like, when you're going to do it, then you got no reason not to do it, because that's the time you set aside for it. And
Okay.
and try and trying to see the light come on in a 10-year-old's eyes with that, it's very frustrating sometimes.
So I think would be really difficult with the more children that you have. When you deal with dinners, does everyone eat the same food?
Uh, they eat the same food.
Okay, so what I mean is that it's not one communal meal that everyone eats the meal. It's this person gets this food and you get your food and someone else gets something else.
Well, it's a little bit different for us because with soccer and extracurricular activities going on, um, it's not always the same. And I go to work at 6 a.m. I'm home by 3 or so. So most afternoons I eat dinner about 4:30 or so, just because I try to fast for 12 to 15 hours
Oh,
every day, just for health reasons. So I try to get mine done early, and then I worry about the girls. And Janice always just eats later. That's just what she does. So
okay. Okay.
we will
That
occasionally have meal, like on Sundays when we're all under one roof. I'll do something, but aside from that, it's rare.
so this was about the funniest thing. So Pete and his wife eat really good food, like the
Mhm.
kind of food that you and I would go, "Oh, dude, that's legitly bomb," right? So they'll order that food, okay? And sometimes the girls will eat it, but most of the time the girls didn't want to eat that. But the girls are also old enough that they'll just cook, they'll just cook their own food. And one girl wants one thing, another girl wants another, and that's fine. And then the parents just eat the good food and the kids kind of fend for themselves. But what I was howling at every single day was as soon as one of the girls started cooking her food, the other girl immediately wanted to take that food and eat it for themselves. And they would
So
get in a fight match like, no, I'm making this for me. You make your own. Well, you already made it, so why can't I just have some? No, and then we just go at it. It's like, oh my god. Yeah, it was funny. It
I
was
keep
really
I
funny.
keep threatening to have them make their own dinner, but it's an empty threat at this point, because I know all they make is Nutella sandwiches. And
Oh yeah, the littlest one is in the Nutella Eggo phase.
yeah,
Like
and
you make it two Eggos and put Nutella in the middle, and that was their sandwich for lunch.
yeah, and I'm not about that life. So I try to make sure they have some kind of vegetables, some kind of protein and whatever else. And it's not always easy, man. Like we do have a rule in this house: if you don't finish your dinner, I don't care what night it is, you take a shower and go to bed. If you don't want to finish your dinner, that's fine, but you're taking a shower, you're going to bed. I don't care what time it is. I don't care what we're going to do afterward. This is the rule of the land, and this is what you will do. And that got tested about a month ago on a Saturday night, no less, over a
Oh
taco. Over a taco that got tested, and
gosh.
Janice got out of the house for a little bit, so just me and the girls, and limits were tested, and I will just say that no child won that evening, or I should take that back. One child did not win that evening. Um, yeah, man, I just made tacos because it's simple. I know what they like it, and the oldest was asking questions about different types of tacos, so we were just talking, and she wanted to switch her taco shell mid taco from a hard taco shell to a corn tortilla for a street taco. And I said no, but
Okay.
if you want a street taco after this, I can make you one, but you're not switching mid taco.
Oh, wow. Okay, so you're kind of a stickler.
Well, it's not like just eat your damn food. Like I'm not gonna go, I'm not gonna go waste food because you're not sure you're gonna like it. And the other one decided that well, the taco now tasted funny after she was halfway done with it and picking it apart.
Oh,
So
yeah, yeah.
yeah, she picked it apart, and I told her you got to finish it or taking a shower, going to bed. And she thought I was bluffing. And I texted her mom about it. There's a FaceTime, and that kid was bawling in the shower at 6:30 p.m. on a Saturday night. And when Janice got home, man, there was yelling back and forth. And one thing you should never do, I don't care how old you are, is yell at your mother. So the oldest and I kind of looked at each other,
Oh,
and
yeah, yeah.
all I was trying to do was watch the Arizona State game. That's all I wanted to do.
Oh,
Like it's Saturday night. Clearly, we're not going out. I just want to watch a football game. And between the bawling, the screaming at each other, and everything else, it's tiring, man. But I think the point was made. You finish your dinner, and I don't think we've had a problem since. Knock on wood.
what is it about a more and more little people that the volume just goes up, like the noise and constant
I don't know,
voices and
man.
people out speaking the other and I was like, oh my gosh, where's the quiet? Where is the sanctuary of quiet? It was
Quiet is something that you appreciate as a person with no children in the house. Quiet is something you never hear when you have children in the house. Because if you hear quiet when there's children in the house, it's because someone got into something and something's probably broke. Um, we had a sleepover, or one of the girls had a sleepover a few months back. Man, it was total chaos. So probably 2 a.m, and I'm not about that, man. Like I get it. Like go to your room, go to your cave, do whatever, hang out. But even the screaming got tense, and it was preteen screaming, so you're not sure if they're mad at each other or mad at whoever they're trying to FaceTime or call because now they've got cell phones. Oh, dude, it's a trip, man. I don't envy anybody in this position.
yeah, I will say this about the daughters. I mean, they're all sweet little girls. They're all very, very nice. They were, but they constantly had to be told to do something. For example, hey, can you do me a favor? Can you take the garbage out? 5 minutes later, have you taken the garbage out? No. Okay, can you do me a favor? Can you take the garbage out? 5 minutes later, can you take the garbage out? Have you taken it out? No. Why haven't you taken it out? Well, my sister did this, and that caused me to get distracted from doing this. Oh, why are your logic so bad?
Yeah. Well, no, I got one better than that. Since this is the rabbit hole we're going down this week, I'll give you this one. The other day, I'm taking the oldest to soccer practice. Like they get home, soccer's at 5:45. Mom gets her home at 5. I've got dinner on the table. I said, you need to eat. You need to get your soccer bag, get changed. It's cold out tonight, so make sure you put on a hoodie, get your socks, get your sliders on, make sure your cleats are in your bag, and a water bottle, and we're out the door. So she, for whatever reason, decides she's eating her dinner one piece at a time instead of spoonfuls or forkfuls like a normal
Okay.
person. So
Right.
she's driving, and then she's asking, like, well, do I have to eat the whole thing? I don't give them much to begin with because I'm not having that fight. So yes, the answer is obviously yes. Eat the whole thing. And then when she goes to get ready, she comes out with everything except her socks. And we're trying to walk out the door. And it's like, do you have your socks? I told you 3 times to get your socks. And she looked at me and said, oh, no, I forgot them. And then we had to stop what we're doing, walking through the house so she could turn around, go get her socks, and get back in the truck. And we were late for practice, obviously. But man, I tell you what.
Yeah, that was a constant thing. Going to school because everyone was going to school, right? So everything is: do you have your backpack? Do you have your lunch? Do you have all your shoes on? Do you have this? And constantly, where are your shoes? Oh, I don't want to wear shoes today. I just want to wear socks. No, that's not
No.
how it works. Get your shoes on. older sister, help put the shoes on the younger sister while I make your lunch and make your sister's lunch. Okay. 10 minutes later, okay, everyone, we're ready to go. Little girl still doesn't have her shoes on. Older sister, why are her shoes on? Well, she wouldn't have sit still for me, so I said I'm not going to do it anymore. No, you're the 15-year-old. Put the shit.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just like,
Yeah.
wow. Wow.
Yeah, that's a common occurrence when you have multiple children at that similar age. Like I said, I cannot wait until they're teenagers because I can only imagine the issues that will arise as this happens.
Yeah, well, and that's the other thing. When you and your brother were growing up, was there a lot of high-pitched screaming and stuff going on for you guys?
I don't think so. I mean, occasionally they'd be yelling or whatever else, but I think boys are a little bit different. And
Yeah.
if you ask my parents, they'll tell you one thing, and I've realized this now. When I listen to my parents tell stories about our childhood, revisionist history is so much more than just in history books. They at least make things look way worse than they really were. My mom's notorious. Like, she'll tell us stories like that is not how that happened, and she will make my brother and I look way worse. I think to make the girls feel better about what they're doing. I was like, that is not what happened at all in any of this. But I guess it's a pseudo grandparent's prerogative to make the child feel better so they can spoil them a little bit.
Yeah, and well, I asked the same thing to Noreen. When you had your sons growing up, was there a lot of loud chaos? No, no, there wasn't. And maybe with boys it is different because boys don't normally scream high pitched. So doing that is not one thing that they normally have to do.
Yeah. I mean, that wasn't
So
a big,
maybe.
big deal for guys.
So one more question, because my friend and I did talk about this. What school of parenting do you belong to? You get your child in so that you're constantly shuttling kids, and you guys as parents are okay. Individuals on the board where you got to be in some place, or one sport.
Well, right now we're currently on the latter because they're still trying to figure out what they like. As they get older, as they can maintain their grades, if they can maintain their grades, they can do different things. But right now, it's just one thing at a time, just because it's easier. And it's one's in first grade, so really that's not hard to mess up. It's just making sure she gets there.
The thing.
Soccer's the thing. And I think it might be theater after this. We tried dance before soccer.
But soccer's the only thing. Okay.
Yeah, soccer, there's only one thing at a time. And the oldest said she wants to try volleyball. So you can't try that till sixth grade. I don't think there's intramurals, just school stuff, but that's next year. So we'll worry about that next year. So it's there's been talks of.
So I was talking to my friend.
Yeah, there's been talks of them doing multiple things, but at the end of the day, grades come first. And, until they can show they can keep the grades up, we're not trying to push them to do multiple things.
Yeah, so when I talked to my friend about it, he's like you guys. We kind of, because they have friends. I mean, they live in a neighborhood where there's just a bunch of young families. All the kids are about the same age, and there's probably 10 or 15 families that are all within a block radius of where my friends live. So he says, oh, some people are like, they don't have any time for themselves because they're constantly running their kids to 15 different activities all over the place.
Yeah.
And he said, we are kind of, you expressed an interest in a sport and we will let you do that sport. And if you don't want to do that sport anymore and you want to move to something else, that's fine. But focus on a sport. We'll give you the best we can for that sport. But we're not going to run you. Okay, you got to be at this sport for an hour, and then you're going to have a 10-minute break, and then go to this sport for an hour. They just aren't doing that either.
Yeah.
Which I kind of like that philosophy of I was doing it. Like, I feel like you try to put kids in too many things where they don't have a chance just to kind of relax and do nothing, or imagination or anything. It's not good for them.
Well, with the homework structure they have, at least the oldest one has, like, she needs time at home to do homework or whatever else. And, 2 to 3 nights of soccer practice plus a game on Saturday, that's a lot for them to do. And, their mom's going to school, so Janice is trying to get her degree, so she's doing online school at night, and I still have my boards that I sit on and everything else that I do in the evening, and I try to maintain my social life the best I can. So there's constant go 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 go. So there's not really a lot of time that's down.
Well, and I think that obviously for the last 25 minutes we've been ragging on how kids drive us nuts. So I'm going to give you a chance to reflect for a minute, and I'm going to give one little story of each of them that made me think, you know what, I have hope for their futures. They're not totally going to drive someone nuts. So the oldest daughter is in high school, and
Mm-hmm.
she was writing a history paper about the American Revolution. And my friend Pete said, hey, I don't really do that kind of stuff with history, so I'm going to let Uncle Jason work with you on that. And obviously, it's because I love Thomas Jefferson. So we're sitting there talking, and all of a sudden, she just expounds on something that just fascinated me. Like, wow, where did that come from? You've been a screaming idiot and hitting your sisters, and then you profoundly come up with something like that was absolutely beautiful. So that was the oldest daughter. I said, well, I have faith in you. You're going to be okay. You're just at that drive me nuts phase. The 13-year-old, this trip, I spent a lot of time with the two outside children, but the middle child, I just didn't get to spend any time with her. And
Uh-huh.
I tried to make it so that when I get with them, I try to spend the equal amount of times with each of them.
Yeah.
But I just couldn't. It just, the one little girl wanted me to read to her and play with her dolls. The other one wanted me to do homework with her. And so I did that. So on the last day, I just hugged the middle one. I said, I'm so sorry. I didn't spend any time with you. And she was like, it's okay. Don't worry about it. I understand. Hey, if you have like 10 minutes after I get home from school tomorrow, maybe we can shoot the basketball real quick. And I was like, oh my gosh, how unselfish. She was like so understanding. I thought, you're going to be a sweet little girl when you get a little older.
Well, she has
And
to be. She's the middle child.
yeah, she's the middle child. Well, then the 8-year-old, so the 8-year-old is nice enough anyways because she gave me her room. She gave up her room to give it to me. But every time I came out, she'd come up, hold my hand, give me a big hug. Did you sleep okay in my bed? I slept great. It was so nice. Then the next morning, come up, big hug. Did you sleep okay in my bed? She just kept worrying that I wasn't going to sleep okay in her bed. And I thought, what a sweet little girl. Okay, so now in
Yeah.
your 2 minutes, do one thing that each of the girls does that's like, okay, you've renewed my faith that I don't have to kill you this week.
Well, her oldest, she and I are buddies. Like she's at that age where, like I was talking to her, it's like you gotta get your life back, dude. Like you gotta get your cell phone back. Stop, because she got grounded from her cell phone,
Oh,
and
that's right. Yeah.
got sent back to daycare instead of taking the bus. I was like, you're gonna be 11 soon. You gotta get it straight, man. Like get your stuff together, get your phone back, start earning your life back. And I need you to step up and stop forgetting random things. And she gets it. And we hung out after Janice passed out on Saturday from exhaustion. She and I went down to a block party, had dinner with my parents, met Dean and Danielle, and hung out. And we're just talking, man. So she's a good kid, and she's just young, and she's from the South. Her dad's from Louisiana, so she's got a lot of South in her. Which,
Uh-huh.
if you've ever met anyone from the South, they move at their own pace,
Okay.
and she's a very slow, easygoing girl, which is cool, and that drives me nuts because I am not that way. So I'm very go, go, go. But, we have a good relationship. The youngest and I are still trying to find our footing. Like I'll read with her every so often and we'll talk, but it's hard because she's 6 and she has, not being in school the last, pandemic
Right.
has kind of set her back a little bit, but, reading wise or whatever else, but she's getting there. Like we'll find our way. She just got to get a little bit older, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think ultimately as we end the podcast, I'm excited about the future. Just the immediate future is very loud and screechy. And I
Yes.
didn't like that. I didn't like that.
Yes. So if you have any parenting tips, step parenting tips, or any kind of just child rearing tips, and you want to share them with us, hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, all at Liquid Carnage. Or if you want to give some tips to our EP Tom on how to spoil said kids, hit him up on Instagram and Twitter at Liquid_EP.
Yeah, no, it's so timely though that I was there for that weekend to experience that. So I do have to get a shout out to my friends Pete and Sean and their kids. I had a great time with them. It was so good to see them. And ultimately, I would love to see them every year, just because even in the 2 years since I last saw them, the girls have grown up so much since I have. So that was nice to see them.
That's
so
what kids do. So
they do that. That's
they
right.
do that. Yeah, yeah. So I guess with that being said, Jason, take us home.
Hey, thanks for listening, everyone. We appreciate you. That was Scott. I am Jason. And as always, if you never know quite what to say, just have yourself some liquid courage.